Hi, welcome to Forex in 4. I'm Mike Conlon for FXEDU, and in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you the highlights of where the action is in today's Forex market. So let's get started. Good morning. Today is March 31st, 2010. This morning we're talking about not so fast. Yesterday I was talking about the possible green shoots we were seeing, actual, good economic numbers, not less bad. Well, today we've got a couple chinks in the armor, and that's not to say that, all of a sudden things are looking bad, but, there's always something going on that gives the market pause, and we're going to take a look at some of these things today. One of the first things we're looking at, as we look at the chart right here, and we're looking at a 30-minute chart of the Aussie versus US dollar. Okay, last night Australia came out with their retail sales figures and their building permits, and the retail sales figures fell 1.4% versus an expected gain of 0.3%, and the building permits they fell 3.3% versus an expected gain of 2.1%. So these are bad numbers for Australia. I mean, they're not horrible, but it shows that domestic demand is waning. Now, Australia's had a series of rate hikes as their economy's been doing fairly well. The RBA is going to meet next week with their interest rate policy meeting. And now speculation is that they're not going to hike rates again. So they had seen some good numbers going into this, but now this may be different. So if we take a quick look here, you can see right when this number came out, it looked like the market was expecting it to be a bit positive, and then boom, not so good, and it just sold off. So that's what's happened with the Aussie. The other big news we want to take a look at, let's just take a quick look at Euro dollar here on the 30-minute chart. Governments in both Greece and Ireland, basically Ireland's popped up with their own sort of banking problem as of late. However, they've taken austerity measures way before Greece did, and generally it's been seen that the steps they've taken have been better than Greece. Well, they have showed that they're going to raise capital in the private market so that the government doesn't need to come in and bail out their banks. So that's a good sign. And the second thing is that in Greece, they've also are going to issue some new debt, but they're going to do it in dollars. All right, so this allows them to issue more short-term debt in euros, get some money in dollars, and hopefully that's going to keep them from having to go to the IMF and from requiring a bailout. So the market sees this as pretty positive. As you can see right here, this news came out, and boom, the euro just took off. So if you're a technical person, this couldn't be a little more perfect setup. It would look at it right here. Got a little bit of a hammer right there. You've got a stochastic crossover on the 30-minute chart, and then boom, there it goes, just climbing right up the ladder, right to above 135 versus USD. So that's a nice move for the euro. So generally speaking, that's a good day for the markets. Economic stability is usually good for risk-taking. The only thing against risk-taking is what's been going on in Australia and consequently New Zealand as a result. But there's some other good stories coming out of some of these other commodity currencies, like Canada. Let's take a quick peek at Canada. Canada came out this morning. Let's look at this on the 5-minute chart because this news isn't that old. But Canada came out with their GDP figures, and they were better than expected. Their GDP grew 0.6%, which is the largest gain they've had in over 3 years. Also, oil's higher this morning, which is showing signs that the Canadian economy may be heating up and that they may be the next to hike rates. So the Canadian economy, or the loonie rather, is also going to trade based on Friday's NFP number. We're going to see what happens with that, but as the U.S. is Canada's largest trading partner, if the looks like the economy's turning around, that could bode well for the loonie. We could see dollar parity. I'm guessing probably not by weekend, but maybe by the middle of next week. So here's what happened. So if we look at this chart right here, you can see basically what happened when, look at this candle right here. Here's what happened when the U.S. reported its ADP employment figures. We were expecting a gain of private employment, and we actually got a loss. So that sort of sent the market moving one direction, but it's sort of reversed, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's look at this versus JPY. You can see here the dollar was just kind of hanging in there, and then it sold off a bit right on the number, and then it looked like it started coming back a bit. Now the market has to decide whether or not this NFP number on Friday is going to be good for the dollar or bad for the dollar. And there's basically two schools of thought going on right here. People are looking for the NFP number to show a gain versus a loss. That's going to show that economic recovery is taking hold here in the U.S. More people are employed. That means it's better for the economy. However, even if we get a bad number, as we know, it's not going to be the end of the world here in the U.S. People are starting to get used to a jobless recovery here in the U.S. Okay, you've got all this government spending, which is essentially taking the place of the output that's put forth by people when they're employed. So you've got government spending kind of stepping in, taking the role of that. So the unemployment figure may not be as bad as people think. So if we do come in and we don't show the gains that we're looking for, if we actually show losses, okay, then that could mean that Bernanke and the company are going to be able to keep the dollar lower for a while. Inflation right now seems to be benign here, so we're going to have to see what happens. But we'll get a better idea of how today turns out if market decides that we're going to be in risk-taking mode, or if they flip it over to risk aversion going into that number. So that's what we're looking at today. If keep your eye on what are we looking for? I want to keep an eye on this. Where is it? Dollar CAD here, dollar loonie, and see if we get some strengthening of the loonie, or if dollar comes back, flip it over to risk aversion mode. So good trading all, and be happy. As always, be sure to check out the written blog at www.fxedu.com to get complete coverage of today's Forex market. If you would like to learn more about how to trade the Forex market from professionals like myself, be sure to check out our affordable Forex trading courses. And if you're already a seasoned professional or aspire to be one, ask us how we can help you achieve your Forex goals. Go to www.fxedu.com to get started today.